my name is Miss Loudon, and today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to triangles. There are 5 types, so I'm going to teach you a song to help you remember what those 5 types are. I'll sing it first, then you guys can sing it with me. Ba-da-da-dum, 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 ba-da-da-dum. There are 5 types of triangles: right and equilateral, obtuse, acute, isosceles, and that is what they are. Ba-da-da-dum, 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 ba-da-da-dum.
There are 5 types of triangles: right and equilateral, obtuse, acute, isosceles, and that is what they are.
Good! Awesome job, guys. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to start with the right triangle, since that is the triangle we sang first in the song. So I'll draw one for you real quick so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So a right triangle is special because it has a 90-degree angle represented by this square in its corner. And something like it that is similar to all of the triangles we have are the internal angles. So these angles right here, these 3, the sum of those angles is 180 degrees. And that's the same for all triangles. So what do they all add up to?
180 degrees.
And
that's the right triangle?
Good, and I'm going to label it for you, so if you want to write it in your notes, you can have an idea of what it is. So the next triangle we'll talk about is the equilateral triangle. So an equilateral triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles that are all equal. So the 3 angles are equal to each other, and the 3 sides are equal to each other. And this is the equilateral. So if those 3 angles are all equal, and we know that the sum of those angles equals 180 degrees, what would one of those angles equal? Mr. Bob, I saw your hand first.
I'll bet 60 degrees.
Good, because we divide 180 by 3, and that equals 60. So the next triangle we'll talk about is called the obtuse triangle. And the obtuse triangle has one angle that, because we know the definition of obtuse to be greater than 90 degrees, it has one angle that is greater than 90 degrees and 2 angles that are less than 90 degrees. So this is our obtuse triangle.
What are the 3?
Well, those can be anything. As long as one angle is equal or is greater than 90, the other 2 can be anything as long as the sum of those 3 angles equals 180, like we talked about. Good job. Great question. So, our next triangle is the acute triangle. And an acute triangle has 3 angles that are all less than 90. So we talked about another triangle that has 3 equal angles, and what are those angles equal to?
60 degrees?
Right, and what is 60 degrees less than?
90.
Yeah, so an equilateral triangle is actually also an acute triangle because it has 3 angles that are acute angles. So this is an acute triangle. So our last triangle is an isosceles triangle. Has 2 angles that are equal to each other and one that is not. So an example of this one could be like 70 degrees, which is how many? What's 70 plus 70?
140.
140. So then the last angle would be 180 minus 140, and so that would be 40 degrees. And so that's an example of an isosceles. And it has 2 equal sides as well. So those are our 5 triangles, and we'll talk more about each of them next lesson.